Okay, so now we get to come to one of my favorite sections, which is the finance portion. And a lot of people might be uncomfortable with managing finances, but I think it's so key because you have to know what you're spending so that you can better prepare for it and make sure that you have enough money for those vet bills, which always come, or that you're setting aside enough money to do that super cool horse camping trip or to hit up that breed show that you really want to go to. So, and that doesn't happen unless you plan for it. So, let's show you the finance portion of the horse planner. Okay, so one of the first things in here is this membership and subscription worksheet, and I love this so I can keep track of everything. So I can keep track of my AQHA membership, my NRHA membership, the Backcountry Horseman, the supplements I have from SmartPack, and because if I didn't write all that down, I would forget. So it's so handy to have that just all in one spot. Then these calendars are super cool because I like to use it to keep track of all the horse related things. So I can write down when my board is due, when the farrier's coming out. I'll write down when I need to adjust my auto ship supplements. So if I decide I need to make changes, I'll know exactly where that's at. Write down when I have lessons. I'll keep track of goals. So, 1 month, I know I was working super hard on really just keeping my horse's shoulders up, and I wanted to strengthen my core, so I did these planks. And so I write all of that down on my calendar, and it's super handy. Then for the budgeting part, I'll do these twice a month, kind of along with the paycheck. And so the beginning of June, for example, I had board due. I needed to buy some feed. I wanted to take a couple lessons, and I always try and put something aside for miscellaneous things because you just never know. And then I also set aside some money for the vet and the farrier. So I make sure to always kind of keep track of upcoming things. And then the second half of June, the farrier came, so I planned for that. And I'd already, if you'd remember, at the beginning of the month, I set aside $50. So I only had to come up with not the full amount because I'd already been saving. I put a little bit aside for feed because you never know. I just needed some more hay cubes, have another lesson, and again, try and put a little something aside for miscellaneous always. This time I just needed to get some fly spray. So it was a more simple couple of weeks, but again, thinking about what's coming up, being prepared for it. And then I know in July, I make a note to myself, I've got vet bills coming. So then one of the super cool things, so I have this expense tracker. So what I do is anytime I spend money on my horse, I write it down. So everything for the horse is in here, and I highlighted each type of expense in a different color. So highlighted board in yellow, lessons in orange, if I bought feed in pink, farrier is green. And so this way it's super handy. So then I have all of my horse expenses for the month. And then at the end, I have a where did my money go worksheet. So for the June recap, I use my expense tracker that I have highlighted everything on, and I add up all those totals. And so I know how much did I spend on board, how much did I spend on feed, on lessons, on the vet, the farrier, did I buy any tack, were there, miscellaneous expenses, did I set anything aside? And so then that gives me a really great overview of the amounts that I am spending. And it's really cool too. You can, if you take the amount that you spent and divide it by your total, you can figure out what percent of your expenses are going to various places. And that's just super, super handy. Okay, so the last thing we're going to go over is the annual spending review overview worksheet. This is one of my favorites. I find this so helpful because it really helps me understand over the course of the year, how much am I really spending on my horse? Where is that money going? And using that information, I can be better prepared for all of my horse expenses and not get caught flat-footed. I can understand trends and know that, you know, maybe there's a couple months in a row where I'm not going to buy any tack, but man, in the spring, when I start cleaning everything and I realize I need some replacements, ooh, yeah, I have tack expenses every year in the spring. Or just understanding, you know, the vet, that okay, my routine care is always about the same, but every year there's something, so I better be setting aside a little bit extra so that I'm prepared when that unexpected expense hits. So this is one of my most useful tools. So here you can see, it's so cute with these flowers. And so every month you have categories and you can write in your own categories. So for me, I have categories for board, feed, lessons and training. So if I have lessons or training, or if I buy some educational materials, that all goes in there. Anything vet. And so for me, that's if I take my horse to the vet, but it's also vet wrap and cotton wrap, that goes in there. If I deworm my horse, that goes under vet. Farrier and hook, miscellaneous things, memberships, horse shows. So those are my categories. You will have your own, and that's great. And so every month, using the Where Did My Money Go worksheet, I take those totals and I write everything down. And it's so handy because so many months you might not have anything. Like horse shows, I don't have anything. Or memberships, I might not have anything most months. But when I'm renewing all of my memberships, it's going to hit all your expenses go. Are there trends? Are there cycles? And it's super, super handy. And you can do totals all at the bottom that you can look at. And this is just, I find this compilation of data is so, so useful. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support with the Horse Planner. I personally get a lot of value out of this, and I really hope that you do too. So go ahead, buy it, download it, use it, hit me up in the comments and let me know. I want to hear how you guys are using the Horse Planner and how it's working in your life. So let me know, and I can't wait to hear from you. Bye. Happy trails.